Greetings everyone, this is the Sailor the Terror Death 99, aka the Black Cobra. And we're going to continue with what we were working on last night. Actually, earlier this morning. With the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. Now, when we last left off, we were actually working on the Stolen Turnabout, the second case of the third game. Let's continue, shall we? Now, when we last left off, we had actually found out that there was actually a second crime committed. It was actually the CEO of the company that Ronald Delite actually used to work for, Kane Bullard. There's still a few things that we don't know yet. One, who exactly is the murderer? Two, who actually sent those mysterious blackmail letters? And three, who is actually trying to frame Mr. Delite? We're gonna come closer to figuring those out today. I will admit this, it's very rare that I actually do a live stream on a Saturday, but this time I'll make an exception because of my busy schedule for next week. One moment, everyone. Just need to fix something. Alright. What is it this time? Well, it is a murder case. Huh? Next door, huh? Detective Atmey's trial today? Interesting. Already? That was fast. Now, this might be jumping the gun a little bit too early, but I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with the term double jeopardy. No, not from the trivia show, but the law term. What is double jeopardy? It means when somebody actually gets convicted of a crime they actually did commit, should I actually get into it? Alright, yeah, I think I should get into it. Basically what happens in Double Jeopardy is basically a criminal gets tried for a crime they committed, by actually getting convicted of a second crime. Should a defendant be tried in court and be acquitted, the defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. That's basically it in a nutshell. And you're basically wondering, what exactly does this have to do with this case? Well, this is gonna be a bumpy road, everyone, so buckle up, because this is gonna take a while, but we're slowly but surely going to figure this out. You're gonna find out exactly what I mean. By the way, where's Pearl? Pearl's has really gotten into her training lately, huh? Incident. What the? No. Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delite, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending him to help him commit the heists. That's an interesting question there, Maya. Do I actually think there's a connection between the thief and the murderer? Yes, I do. And in fact, we're gonna slowly but surely solve this puzzle. It's not gonna be easy, but we're gonna do it. I'm afraid that's not an option, Maya. Let's begin, shall we? Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ronald Delite. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Say what you will, Godot. I will be the one having the last laugh. Alright, let me briefly summarize the details of this case. The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in a safe at approximately 9 a.m. on the morning of October 13th. However, the time of death was estimated at 1 a.m. of the previous day. That is when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. The little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. Very well. Please call your first witness. Ah, yes. Honest to God, I think this song fits Godot quite well. It actually sounds more like a full-out jazz song rather than a character theme. The name of the song, by the way, is "The Fragrance of Dark Coffee." Very well. I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delite to testify. Very well. You did it, didn't you? And once he opens his big mouth, he'll basically probably be putting the last nail in his own coffin. If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security? Very well. My visit to KB Security. That evening around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got ordered me to go there. I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was. 1 a.m., the exact time the murder took place. Very well.
Hold it!
1 a.m., huh? You're absolutely sure about that, right? "1 a.m. That's the exact time the victim, Mr. Bullard, was murdered, correct?"
Hold it!
It ordered you there? It's the first time I'd gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere. Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters then? Steal this or take that. Hold on. Why didn't you save that for later? Why didn't you save that for later, Mr. Delite? Interesting. Let's take a look. What did the blackmail letter in question say? 50 grand, huh? True, that is a good motive for committing murder. If he actually is the murderer. Nothing to hold over my head. And nothing to be afraid. I'm not buying that part. He was fired after all. I would say that's a good motive. Anyway, let's continue. Money mud skipper in outer space is a better chance than I do. Blackmail threat didn't scare me. It wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything. Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway? Blackmail letter said if you don't want your identity revealed, correct? Mask the mask thing. I wasn't worried. Mr. Bullard didn't have anything on me. Okay, that part I'm not buying. He was the one who was... Bullard was the one who actually fired him. That definitely sounds like a good motive for murder, if you ask me. So that's why Miss Delite doesn't believe he was Master Mask. Oh, threats, huh? You used to be a security chief for KB Security, correct? And yet a year ago, you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge? Perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say? I would, actually. That is an interesting question. Why was he fired? A boss wouldn't fire an employee without a good reason. Interesting. Mr. Delite, please tell us why you were fired from your job. Defendant, please answer the question. Well, he did mention that earlier in the case. He did mention that his wife is actually a big spender. I believe she actually mentioned that as well. Sorry, it wasn't nearly enough. Whoa! That's a good reason for someone to be fired. Stole data from the company. KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And don't forget what I stated earlier this morning. I actually mentioned that Ron's former boss was actually dealing with, I guess you could say, shady dealings, including selling data to rival companies. That would definitely be a good reason for someone to want him dead. Since our security team chief stole some data and sold it. Mr. Bullard found out and I was fired immediately. Exactly. I was somehow able to keep it secret and made it seem like I quit on my own. Ah, yes. Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that. True, true. So you admit that you stole data from your company, is that correct? This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony. You fired me for selling company secrets, but Desi didn't know about that. Why would you do something like that? So Miss Delite doesn't know that her husband was fired, does she? So it seems. Sometimes some secrets are meant to be kept secret, Maya. True, there wasn't much to his testimony. It's definitely got to be something I can work with. Sounds like he's avoiding something. At least that's what it sounds like to me. If we don't find a way to make him spill the beans, we never get closer to the truth. So his wife doesn't realize, or doesn't know, for that matter, that her husband was fired. I wonder what she would actually do if she actually found out. Ah, greetings, Ivy. One thing I must ask, Ivy, can you please stop with the caps? Congrats, Ivy. I'm actually working on the third game of Phoenix Wright. No worries, no worries. You probably didn't know. And yes, this is the third game of the Phoenix Wright Trilogy. This is the second case. Oh, Godot, you better not go tisk-tisking me again. Victim had no proof that the defendant was Master Mask. Yes, I know that, Godot. You're the one who stole company secrets only 1 year earlier, huh? Here's a little question, Ivy. Did you actually work on the fourth game? Oh wait, I'm not sure if you have a PS4. If you play the fourth game, well, if you have a PS4, there's actually a fourth game. It's called Reconnected. Ah, yes. It can be a heartbreaker. Very nice. It's true that the fact I stole secrets was kept under wraps. And so there was no reason for me to pay up now a whole year later. Then don't. I assume you didn't go through the Forest of Pain yet. The fact that Ron was stealing company data, I wonder if he had a problem with that ever became public knowledge. I would assume it would. Ah, yes! I know you can do it, Ivy. Mr. Delite, I believe you would have been in considerable trouble if your identity as a company data thief was made public. Oh, you're not getting me with that, Godot. I'm aware of that. Ivy, have you ever played the Phoenix Wright games? I'd assume you're familiar with them, but I'm not sure if you played any of them. Ah. Oh, you better not be tisk-tisking me there, Godot. Ah, Professor Layton. I've only played the first Professor Layton game. Very interesting game, I must say. Mr. Delite, what you said just now does not match what you just told me. What you told me yesterday. The only Phoenix Wright game I actually have not played is the 5th one, Spirit of Justice. Mr. Delite, I think you must have been scared, very scared, of having a certain person find out your secret. Miss Desiree Delite, the defendant's wife. Godot! Yes, Godot, I know that. Mr. Delite stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit for which he was fired. Yes, I know that. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secrets to blackmail him. Yes, I know that, Godot, but that somebody was not his boss! I'm not buying it. And I did mention earlier that this case involves double jeopardy. Here's the kicker though, Ivy. Sometimes they don't. Yes, there was motive, I know. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delite? Now, Ivy, you know what double jeopardy means, right? If you're unfamiliar with it, then I will explain. Basically, it means that a criminal gets convicted of a crime they've actually committed, but if they're actually tried and acquitted of that crime, they can't be tried again. That's basically what it is in a nutshell. Ah, that shadow. So somebody was already in the CEO's office when he arrived. No worries, Ivy. That's why I said I would actually explain it. Of course, since Atme turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie. He was actually a thief. Oh, you're not getting me with that one, Godot. Insult me all you wish. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot. Who was this suspicious shadow? Okay then, how was the victim Mr. Bullard at the time? Was he already dead or was he still alive? Yes? Anytime, Ivy. Anytime. Maybe he was the one who hit you in the first place. Ah, nice. Do you remember anything about who hit you? Ah, nice. That, you please clarify what you were referring to? Hold on. Yes, you did. What? I was not informed of that. I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me. Seems so. Oh, God. Honest to God, I still think this guy has MPD. AKA multiple personality disorder. By my insults or by what Phoenix actually stated? Actually, I prefer iced coffee myself. Some people don't, but I prefer it over the hot stuff. I'm actually more of a tea drinker myself, but Witness, please correct your testimony. Don't blame me there. Why were you dressed up as Master Mask? Thirty's being blackmailed over the Master Mask issue. Indeed. Took a lot longer. What's he talking about? Huh. No problem, Ivy. Ah, yes, opening the safe. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is, start of the case, the safe was actually opened. Only problem is, we don't know what was actually taken out of it. At least not yet. Talk about clumsy. You're the one that hid the body in the safe? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? That is not relevant to this case, Godot. Ah, yes. The fragrance of dark coffee. Yes, it is the actual title of this song. Sounds almost like a jazz song, doesn't it? Sounds like something you'd hear out of... Sounds like something you'd hear in Cowboy Bebop or something. Which, personally, I think has one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. No. Yes, I know that, Maya. Yes. Why did you hide the body in the safe anyway? Ah, God. Yes, it does make sense. Wait a minute, 10 minutes? In those circumstances, would you normally try to hide the body? Spend 10 whole minutes to do it? Ah, yes! I just might do that, Maya. It's definitely gotta be something I can use. Do you know when your assailant made their escape and to where? Huh? Absent-minded, anyone? Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It was practiced. Yeesh. I'm not buying it. Objection, Your Honor. Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record? The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, the security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 a.m. If Mr. Ron Delite truly was the murderer, he would have run as soon as the buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been heading his way.
Objection!
Objection! Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them.
Objection!
Yes, I'm aware of that. That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. Delite could have known. Objection! The buzzer is extremely loud. There is no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is. Gladly, Godot. Recall the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delite said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes. And that's why Mr. Delite didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body. Mr. Delite was knocked out and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right, whoever it was, they knocked out Ron Delite and then pressed the buzzer. Objection, Your Honor. Then who pressed the buzzer? I don't buy it. Damn it! Bingo! The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. I believe that this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence that you were looking for. Absolutely not. The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue. This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullard had really pressed it himself, naturally he would have left his fingerprints behind. Objection, Your Honor. Why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment. Objection, Your Honor. The defendant, Mr. Delite, was dressed as Master Mask. And Master Mask always wears gloves! What reason could he possibly have to wipe the button free of fingerprints? One simple reason: to frame the defendant. That's true. Oh, don't you go to sisking me there, Godot. I still have plenty of tricks up my sleeve. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard at around 1 a.m. And Mr. Delite just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, correct? The killer clobbered Mr. Delite and then sounded the buzzer. Security was supposed to respond. Bingo. Oh, welcome back. Very well then. Alright, Godot. Oh, you better not be tisk-tisking me there, Godot. I still got plenty of tricks up my sleeve. Bingo. Gotcha. The killer knew that if they pressed the button, the guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted. Yes. Although, as it turned out, he never showed up. Because he was getting his car cleaned at the time. No. Nope. When the buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, King Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ronald Delite, who was out cold. And the 3rd person, the real killer. Exactly. Hypothetical.